Look, let's move on because I want to talk about a story in the US media where journalists at the New York Post have been attacked for more than 2 years. Why? Well, they uncovered the president's son's disturbing laptop, which shed light on dodgy business deals which now form the foundation of a federal investigation into tax fraud. If the allegations were against anyone else, it would have been a widely celebrated scoop. Instead, the journalists were mocked, belittled, had their work banned from social media, and high-profile journalists sought to discredit them.
So we're supposed to believe that Hunter Biden, in a drunken stupor, dropped off his laptop.
And so, when you try to figure out the specifics of, whether that meeting email, for example, is real in the midst of this, do you think stuff like that could just have been planted in there and be completely fake?
I mean, for all we know, these emails are made up, or maybe some are real and others are fakes. We don't know.
Well, today those journalists at the New York Post have been vindicated, with Biden now admitting through his lawyers that the laptop was indeed his. It's mine. Hunter Biden finally admits laptop of dirty deals and deeds is his. And the Post's editorial board published a powerful editorial explaining just how the scandal incriminated the President of the United States, who lied when he dismissed it as Russian disinformation. For more than 2 years, Hunter Biden and his father have dismissed the, quote, laptop from hell as a fraud or a hack or Russian disinformation, they write. The Post went on to explain why Hunter Biden was finally coming clean. They said, why the change? Well, investigations are coming from the Republicans in Congress, and pretending the laptop isn't real won't work anymore. Under Elon Musk, Twitter won't run interference for the president by censoring stories, and now even the New York Times admitted, begrudgingly, that Hunter's emails are authentic. Well, it took a while, but the truth finally came out. And this whole sordid affair should give many media pundits pause before they blindly attack their colleagues off gut instincts alone. Sophie, keen to hear your thoughts on this. It's a big day for the New York Post, being able to run that front page. What did you make of how the last 2 years have played out?
Well, it certainly leaves the American media contingency in a state of disarray because, as you have said, Jack, this story has repeatedly been disputed because the media in the US is largely left-leaning and it didn't fit in with their political agendas. And that's how they treated this story to their detriment. And now they have egg on their face. So they better cough up now and admit that they got it wrong. This is hugely embarrassing. But remembering this story was happening at the time that there was an election, it was very critical to the success or not of the now President Biden. So a lot of the media just wanted to refute what was being put forward to them in the hope that Biden would get elected. So I think shame on the American media over this, and well done to the New York Post.
Yeah, Michelle, I mean, there are a lot of people as well that even now that we know that it is his laptop are dismissing it as kind of trivial tabloid journalism, particularly, the crack pipes and the prostitutes. But can you imagine any journalist who had that on Donald Trump's children not publishing that, not running with that story?
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things that we've seen time and time again, particularly in American media, and to some extent we've seen it bleed down here in Australia. This kind of inability to follow through on following the story just because it doesn't fit into your political prism. So I think what we've seen here is that they got it right, and they've definitely got it right. I think transparency is key, and the left's failure to look deep within themselves is what's going to cost them inevitably an election, because people are going to agitate against them based solely on the fact that they're not admitting to their mistakes. Admit that when you do something wrong. It is not a failure.
People see right through them. I couldn't agree more.